Buffs and Bluffs, a film podcast by an actor-screenwriter and a former movie theater manager. Welcome to the show. I will be your film buff, Autumn Hart. I use any and all pronouns, and I am that actor-screenwriter you just heard about.
And I am Ky Jones. I am the movie Bluff, and I am the former movie theater manager. That's me. Autumn, how you doing today?
I'm doing grand. How are you?
Wow, I'm doing pretty grand too. Almost as grand as a Grand Budapest Hotel. Oh, that's a movie reference. I haven't even seen that movie before.
You haven't?
No, I haven't.
It's Wes Anderson, though.
I would probably like it.
You would.
That might have to... Autumn has a running list of movies that they have seen that I need to see, and maybe that should be added to the list.
Yeah, I can easily add that. We got a list on Letterboxd now that I've started to keep track, and we've actually already worked on it.
Yes.
So, really exciting. And one of the movies, who would have thunk it, was indeed Morbius for half a second.
Morbius was on the list. And speaking of Morbius, we did see Morbius over the weekend.
Yes.
Yesterday, actually.
Yeah. We did see yesterday.
Ooh.
Time's an illusion. I did not even realize
illusion.
it.
So, as you all remember, we made a bingo card for Morbius where we made various predictions for the movie. Spoiler alert, we did not get a bingo.
No, we were pretty close, I'd say.
Shockingly close.
Is very shocking considering what the bingo card entailed. Let me set the scene for you.
Please do, Autumn.
We show up to the theater. Alamo Draft House, of course. Strut on in and show our Vax cards.
Yep.
And the movie theater person was like, "What movie are you seeing?" And I go, "Morbius." And then the movie theater person just starts cackling. And that set the right tone. We go into the theater, we sit down, and then when the neighbors sit next to me, at least, the waft in I had of cigarette smoke and Axe body spray, the ambiance.
Yeah, so we're in the theater. There is Axe body spray all around us. How did we do in bingo, Autumn?
Well, we were really close on the B column.
Can you remind me what was in our B column again?
Yes, we had the full MCU intro, which I would count because while it was not technically the MCU intro, it was just a Marvel intro. It was a very long Marvel intro in considering the fact that I wasn't expecting it to be anything except just like the shiny logo.
Yeah.
So I gave us that one.
It was like the comic book flip of the pages one.
Yeah, which was Marvel's old one.
Yes.
Before they got really fancy with it and added MCU footage.
Yeah.
And then somebody paints. I included because Morbius does paint the word blood with blood.
Yes.
Spoiler alert
Big
for Morbius.
painting moment. Morbius. Jared Leto was like, I'm gonna explore my artistic side for during this scene.
That was
roll the cameras, Doug.
Matt Smith struts his stuff. Very much the stuff was strutted. That was
If we were playing by different bingo rules, we should have made it so that if Matt Smith struts his stuff one time, we get the box. If he struts it an additional time, it's like a free space. You get an additional free space.
Oh, we would have had the whole board knocked out.
Matt Smith struts his stuff 4 to 5 times in this movie.
At least.
Like, a solid 3 are definite struts his stuff. You could argue maybe up to like 6 or 7 times. And this is a man who knew how to strut. And
it was more than a strut. It was finger guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
Dance move. It was so good. And I will say, if there's anything to take from this movie and witnessing it, it was indeed Matt Smith's little jig that he did anytime he was feeling cocky.
Best part of the movie by far. It does have similar vibes. I believe other people refer to it as Bully Maguire. It's from a movie I haven't seen, but in Spider-Man 3, apparently Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker has like an emo phase.
Yes.
And I've heard people refer to him as Bully Maguire in that moment. And I think Matt Smith had Bully Maguire vibes there. Maybe it's referring to something else.
No,
but
I also saw a tweet today where somebody was like pointing out how in one of the Morbius trailers there was spray paint on the wall of I think Toby's Spider-Man. I might be wrong. It could have been a different Spider-Man. And people were like, why was this in the trailer? And the director responded saying, I didn't know it was in it. I didn't tell them to do it though. And then somebody quote tweeted it and said, directing, you should try it. It was a good thing.
If that doesn't set the scene for the whole movie.
Yes. Also, Michael Keaton was in it. That was in the next space. But I said Michael Keaton loses a wing. And that makes more sense to you now, thankfully, because you told me that you had no idea why I said he loses a wing.
Yeah, not gonna lie. So we get I'm spoiling something in this really awful movie. We'll get to the movie itself in a second, but I'm expecting, based on Autumn's bold prediction, that Michael Keaton plays a pivotal role in this movie.
Yeah, he's the first actor that comes up at least a week ago on Google, if you look up the movie. But
the issue of what happens is Michael Keaton's not actually in the movie. So in the way Alamo works, they you can order food at your seat. It's a little fancy. I'm like, I feel fancy going there. And the only clue that they give you of when the movie's almost done is they drop off the check. You know, you got French fries. Here's the check to pay for it.
It's usually at the climax or post-climax of the movie because it's the last 30 minutes.
And they dropped it off, and I'm like, no way this movie's about to be over. Mikey K hasn't even shown up yet. He doesn't show up. He's not in the movie until
the post-credit scenes, because it's Marvel. The best part too was when we got the check. I literally was like, "This we've only seen 10 minutes of this movie. Nothing's happened yet." It
felt like we hadn't got into the movie yet by the time it finished,
and then everything happened really, really fast.
So fast.
Also, nothing happened at the same time.
Yeah, yikes. What was our final thing on the bingo card though? Before we talk more about the movie.
Leto licks the envelope. I put a line through it as not a full check mark because I feel like for that fever dream of witnessing that movie, maybe it happened, but I don't think so.
He also could have licked the envelope metaphorically.
Or the he was biting people and draining them of their blood.
Is that licking the envelope?
There's gonna be... that's awful. I was gonna say there's gonna be a ton involved, and then I need to walk out of this podcast.
Okay. So Autumn, when licking the envelope comes up, Autumn goes straight to tongue
because that's how you lick things.
That is true. Here's what I'm interested in discussing though. What does metaphorically licking the envelope mean? Because I find that an envelope, you're setting an envelope as a sense of sending a message to someone. So licking the envelope, that's sending that text message. But I feel it goes deeper than that. It's like shooting your shot. It's like taking a chance. And Jared Leto took a chance by not being blacklisted from Hollywood by being in this film.
He's already... Well, he should be. After all the things he's done, how is he not blacklisted? But I think the moment that is the metaphorically licking the envelope for his character, Morbius, is... It's a tie for me, actually.
Yes.
It's between the one shot where he just face palms. I don't know if you remember this moment. I don't remember the context, but there's one moment, it's a close-up, and then he just goes that.
Yes,
and
he does.
I went, put! Nobody else laughed at that in the theater.
There was quite a couple times where me and Autumn laughed at the movie when no one else seemed to think it was funny, and we were like,
guys around us just look at us, and eventually they joined in. They were like, okay, wait, these two gays can hang. But at first, it was testing the waters.
I am also curious what your definition of licking the envelope is. I know Frenching
in general
is one of your definitions, but other than Frenching.
Frenching. I thought you said Frenching.
Is that what anyone calls it? It's French kissing, not called Frenching?
No, I thought you said friendship.
Oh, friendship.
Friendship.
Well, you know what? No. Tongue could be involved there too. Yeah, but how do you define licking the envelope?
I'd say if I take notes after the movie.
Oh, yes.
And I say fruity in all caps. Maybe that is the metaphorical licking the envelope.
Yeah. You're really going into the tongue references with licking the envelope.
What? I'm sorry I can't get my head out of the gutter by talking about this. Can anyone? I'm here because we're all here. What does it mean to you though, Kai? Because I'm not very intrigued to see where you go with it.
Again, I feel like it is related to taking a chance. And I jokingly said that Leto took a chance by being in this movie, but also, he takes a chance by, you know, I don't know what he takes a chance by doing. What is Jared Leto do? Okay, hold on. We need to pause first. We're gonna do a quick 180 because this movie has a major flaw. Full spoilers for Morbius right here. The whole kind of the tension in this movie is that Jared Leto's Morbius character has created artificial blood. And real blood. And based on his, new vampiric condition, he has to drink blood every 4 hours or something. But the time he needs to drink blood is increasing because the artificial blood isn't cutting it.
Yeah.
There's 5 issues with this.
First of all, vampire bats and what he is become based off of vampire bats, they don't drink human blood unless it's on accident.
Yep.
And they only drink from cows, really.
Yeah, which is point 1, and I said this to you in the movie.
Yeah, you did.
I was like, what about animal blood? Well, I understand, vegan arguments or something like that, but in this universe, people consume meat. And if you're consuming meat, there's a wide array, not to be graphic, but of animal blood all about. You don't have to murder people to drink human blood. There's also, blood donors that, there's so many ways around this, but for Jared Leto, the only 2 options are to give up or murder people and drink their blood. It's just... The premise was so dumb. It had the clearest plot hole. Normally I miss plot holes. I'm someone who... I'm not nitpicking stuff for plot holes, but it was so obvious.
The whole movie was a plot hole.
Yeah.
It was the first scene, it initiated the beginnings of all of the questions that never got answered.
Yes.
And first, a hot take that's not a hot take. Why was that first scene really in the movie?
It didn't need to be in the movie.
The only point of it is that he took the bats home from Costa Rica.
But how did he get home from Costa Rica? He
says that in a line. He goes, I brought these bats back from Costa Rica. And I'm like, okay, great. So why did we do this whole opening scene?
And you know what the worst part about that opening scene? It was such a tease because if you listened last week, 2 of my predictions for this movie were animal-based. I predicted that there would be an elephant in the movie, and then later on I predicted there would be a monkey in the movie.
It got my hopes up.
The movie starts in the Costa Rican jungle. I know, there aren't elephants in Costa Rica. However... You know what? The movie was bad. They would throw an elephant in. Someone making that movie would think elephants, Costa Rica. I know elephants aren't on this continent, but
they could be now. It's with the logic of this movie that would honestly fill the plot holes.
Yes, but there is. I'm pretty sure there's some breed of monkeys in Costa Rica.
Yeah, surely. At least ones that tourists take pictures with.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I was like, this is the monkey moment. Mm-hmm. Maybe there was a monkey noise in the background. Mm-hmm. Nothing else. All it did is this opening scene, no relevance to the plot at all, waste of time. It was already a short movie. This scene could have been cut out of it. Because all it did was it got my hopes up because I was studying frame by frame, looking where are the animals, and they only had stupid bats.
Yeah. No, for sure. Can I tell you my other licking the envelope thought?
Oh, yes, you thought of it. We're going back to Frenching.
To close out the thought here. I took note of this moment in the movie because I did think it stuck with me. Morbius says in a voiceover, as he's coming to terms with his new powers, yesterday I could barely walk. Now there's no telling what I could do. And then starts parkouring around his lab that he works in. And I just sat there, and in that moment I was like, wow, that moment just sealed the deal that this movie is not sure what it's doing, because it was setting up such a cheesy inspirational moment, and then it was just him flipping around and around like a little monkey. So maybe that is the monkey.
Oh my goodness, was Jared Leto the monkey all along?
The whole time.
The last thing that I especially want to talk about this movie is that post-credit scene. explain it. Like, so...
you right.
Well, I know, I understand a little bit. So it sets up, like, it's trying to tie it into Spider-Man, the most recent Spider-Man, No Way Home. And, like, the purple sky thing opens, I'm assuming, like, the end or the beginning of that movie, or maybe something from Doctor Strange, and...
Which was some... those graphics were a little rough. Anyway.
Graphics were rough. So then Michael Keaton shows up. He's in a jail cell, and he's like, oh, I hope the food's better here. And then, back to the credits. Then there's another scene, which they clearly couldn't get Michael Keaton back for, because he's in a costume, and they don't show his face. So clearly Keaton was not available for post-credits scene number 2. And it just shows Jared Leto driving to a random field. And then he's like... Vulture, and not Michael Keaton is like, Doctor, and they're like, let's form a team, I'm thinking of doing some good. How did they get in touch with each other? How did he build a Vulcan? What's his...
A Vulcan?
What's his name? Not a Vulcan. Falcon? No. What? Vulture. Michael Keaton as a vulture. Isn't that his name?
No, now I'm only thinking Vulcan because it's so
they could have had a Vulcan under the mask. They could, like, I'm right though. They clearly didn't get Michael Keaton for the second post-credit scene.
No, you're right. Yeah. Here's the thing out of all of this that I can make some sense of, and I stick to this thing I did in that moment where I leaned over to you and I said, "Is Sonic gonna appear?" And I was so excited for him to show up because honestly, that's an ambitious crossover right there. You got though that like Michael Keaton, it was like Spider-Verse or Spider-Man.
Yes,
No Way Home.
I got it.
You got that.
I was just more confused of how they connected and why they're forming a team.
There's just an assumption he broke out of jail. There's no assumption of time or anything like that. It was just such a half-assed like.
It was so half-assed, and again. Guys, whenever you're watching a movie and all of a sudden a character is wearing a mask who oftentimes is not wearing a mask, they clearly just couldn't get the actor back from that day of filming. Period. And I find it hilarious when big budget movies do this.
Oh yeah. No, it's so good because it's the tears in Hollywood are showing.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Man. Any final thoughts on Morbius, Autumn?
I'm thinking a lot about the monster product placement too. Did you notice that?
What was the monster product placement? They
came into the gas station, and a lot of the shots in this movie are very rough for context. Like
it's hard to know what's going on.
Also, the fact that every fight scene it was so fast and messy, and that you were like, "What is happening?" And that they just like slow-mo it out of nowhere, so you could kind of get some context of, well, these two are fighting in the air.
Things aren't even lit that well.
Yeah, they aren't lit that well. That was somebody else, I was talking about this to my mother, and she was like, oh yeah, somebody else said it was too dark, they couldn't see the movie. And I was like, sounds like a DC movie. Ooh, roast. No. But there's a scene where they enter a gas station, and the shot is only like rack focusing on the monster logo on this fridge, and that's it.
Oh, Monster the drink. I was like, what monster is getting a shout out? I thought we were talking Godzilla. No, we're talking
it's the drink.
The product placement did go over my head.
Bottoms up, and the devil laughs.
Wow, Morbius. My final thoughts on Morbius. Clearly the greatest movie ever. Everyone should go see it, and if you don't agree with that, take it to the bank. That's all. I don't know what that means.
I'm going to the bank then.
Lick that envelope.
Look at it.
Highly recommend licking an envelope over going to see this movie. If you have two options for the evening, lick the envelope.
Get that paper cut from the envelope. Go take that L. Go see it. Oh my god.
Autumn, speaking of paper cuts.
Yeah.
You know what else can cut you?
A lot of things. There's paper.
A rock.
Yeah, there's a rock.
And therefore, everyone, it is time for On the Rocks! Welcome, everyone, to On the Rocks, the segment where I read Autumn reviews from Letterboxd, and they have to determine if the reviews are on the rocks or on the rocks, meaning on the rocks. a delicious beverage served over ice. Delicious. Or on the rocks, like the waves of the harbor, crashing violently into the stones.
That was some beautiful imagery.
Thank you. Autumn, are you ready for this week's On the Rocks?
I'm rocking and rolling and whatnot.
Okay, this week I have 3 movies and a bonus movie if you win the third game round. So
wait, so I'm guessing all of these?
No. I have 3 movies. The first 2, you just have to determine the review.
Oh, yes. So like the normal.
If the review, yes.
Okay.
Starting off, the first 2 movies
fun.
are just determining if the review is on the rocks or on the rocks. The last round, the third round, is the bonus round where you have to guess the movie. And if you guess the movie correctly, you win the final 4th movie review.
Wonderful. All right.
So we are starting off with, when doing some deep dives into Letterboxd, after the horror that was Morbius, I was like, I need to be reminded of some good cinema.
Yes.
And when I think good cinema, I think Knives Out. So
you're right.
I looked up Knives Out, was reading some reviews, and I found one kind of controversial from Chris Kursecki. Chris gave it half a star, but liked the movie. And he has a reason why he gave it half a star, and I want to know if you agree.
Okay.
This is what Chris said. Again, Knives Out 2019 is what we're talking about here. Everyone talks about this movie's all-star cast, yet completely forgets about Spy Kids 3's all-star cast. I mean, Spy Kids 3 had stars such as Steve Buscemi, Sylvester Stallone, and George Clooney. In fact, Spy Kids 3 was so jam-packed with A-list celebrities that George Clooney didn't even have to play a main character, instead getting sidelined as Devlin. I beg you people to stop with the hypocrisy. Either denounce this film or embrace Spy Kids 3 Game Over as the masterpiece that it truly is. Your thoughts on them?
This is one of the few hot take reviews you have said so far.
Thank you.
That I am honestly on board for.
Have you seen Spy Kids?
Oh, absolutely.
Game Over. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, it's a cinematic masterpiece. I don't know what you're saying.
It.
I loved it growing up. It was such a good one. I love all the Spy Kids, but the third one does stand out above the rest.
Agreed. I had a group of... My mom was into scrapbooking when I was younger. I mean, still is, but especially when I was younger. And we would have occasional movie nights over, like, someone's house while the mom scrapbooked. All the kids would, like, watch a movie together. And Spy Kids was definitely one of the movies that we watched. And I remember... It was a great time. I really enjoyed it. So
I always had Disney Channel on growing up, even through high school. I just had Disney Channel on in my background because I love DComs so much, and Spy Kids would play. Even though I don't know if it's technically a Disney Channel original movie or not, but I appreciate it a lot. So I get it because there is a lot of Spy Kids 3 erasure in pop culture, and it needs to be talked about. Seriously.
Agreed. So you agree with Chris
that
Knives Out should be embraced and Spy Kids 3 should be embraced.
Yes. Knives Out is embraced, I think, for the most part. Not as much as that of, I'd say, the big boys like Avengers and stuff that are star-studded casts, but I think it's still up there without being in a franchise, though it's on its way to becoming a franchise because Rian Johnson is getting that coin. But
Knives Out was so good. I love that movie.
Oh, heck yeah.
Again, On the Rocks?
On the Rocks, yeah.
It's On the Rocks! Okay, thank you, Chris, for
deal.
writing in. Okay, Autumn. For our second review of On the Rocks, we are looking at the movie that we spent so much time talking about earlier, Morbius. This is what Jack Mayer said about Morbius. Didn't give it a star review.
None.
So you not only have to determine if the review is on the rocks, you have to rate the review from 0 stars to 5 stars. So this one's going to be tough.
That's such a plot twist. Thank you.
This is what Jack said. I can't rate this accurately because before the movie, Jared Leto showed up from, like... let me try that again. I can't rate this accurately because before the movie, Jared Leto showed up and from like 20 feet away, I yelled, "Paolo Gucci!" And he shouted back, "Yo!" Your thoughts?
That's That's amazing. First of all,
First of all, do you think this actually happened?
Well, I hope it did. I hope that they went to the premiere of Morbius, and were like, the man's right there. I gotta shoot my shot. I love that. I'm crossing my fingers, hoping that that's what it is, and not that like it was made up. If honestly, though, I give them points for
even if it was made
imagination.
Up.
Yeah, because that is phenomenal. I will say that there's some like missed opportunity at shouting like a line that Paolo says, or even I do think
have chosen?
I don't probably the
What was that?
That was my sorry. We've heard my Paolo impression before.
Paolo. Yeah.
Oh, I added an at the end. Anyway, I don't know, but now I'm realizing in hindsight if I was reading this week actually about Jared Leto and accents after discussing the accents that Jared Leto has done and will be continuing to do in We Crash.
Oh boy.
And how rough they are. And in one of the interviews, he practically said an equivalent. He did not say this, but the message was there of like, the accent is what it is. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. Which is arguably a very rough thing to say as an actor who is impersonating accents. And also like implemented the idea that he has none because he's American. Yeah. Which I roll. But yeah, so I would say maybe shouting at him in the accent is a problem too. So I honestly, I give this person full credit if it happened or not.
Gotcha. How many stars do you think Jack deserves?
For the review, am I rating the review or am I rating?
You're rating what was Jack's experience. You gotta put yourself in the mind of Jack. What do you think Jack did after getting a yo from Jared Leto? How does that change one's experience going into a movie like Morbius?
I think because it's still Morbius, it bumps the experience up to about a solid 3.5 stars.
3.5 stars for Jack. Good job, Jack. And lastly, is Jack's review on the rocks or on the rocks?
I'd say it's on the rocks. Complimentary.
Wow! It's on the rocks!
Woo!
Okay. And last but not least, you've made it to the final round.
Yay.
I have 3 reviews, all from the same movie. Mm-hmm. I will read them in order from least obvious to potentially most obvious. You will get 1 guess after each review. And then at the end, collectively, whether you get it right or not, you have to decide are all the reviews together, on the rocks, or on the rocks. Do you follow?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've been here, done that. Let's go.
Starting off first, we have Endgame ripped off the final battle. When Grandpa showed up, I flipped out. What movie is this referencing?
Oh, is this Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2?
This is not Twilight Breaking
Dawn
Part 2.
Not?
Great.
Wait, I thought I had that. Any viewers at home, you know I had that in the bag. Well, I guess Grandpa. Well, no, because you could call. You could call. Oh no.
Okay.
Well, let's just stop there.
So
there's a Grandpa.
So that review was from Mass. This is from Joel Haver, and Joel said, at best, setting the movie in a game allows the CGI to go wild and makes it sort of timeless. At worst, it gets rid of any semblance of stakes and detaches us from the world and the characters that were so rich in the second movie. Sharkboy and Lavagirl is somehow far superior. Its visuals are even more batshit insane, and it makes no attempt to make excuses for them.
So this is Spy Kids 3.
This is Spy Kids 3! It's actually called Spy Kids 3D. Game over.
3D. Right, yes. You gotta count all the Ds.
Are you ready for the final review of Spy Kids 3D Game Over?
Yes, I can give a guess again, even though I know the answer.
Oh, yes, give a guess. So, This one says, Spy Kids was about coming up. Spy Kids 2 was about flexing. Spy Kids 3 was about keeping it real.
I'm gonna guess it's Spy Kids.
It is Spy Kids 3D! Game over!
I was gonna have all of the Spy Kids. Imagine if I just guessed Toy Story.
I mean,
the first one was about coming up.
Yeah.
Toy Story 3 is about keeping it real.
Toy Story 3 is about keeping it real.
Got too real.
Oh, it did get too real. Before you have won the bonus, but Moss again said Endgame ripped off the final batter. When Grandpa showed up, I flipped out. Joel said, at best, the movie is not as good as Sharkboy and Lavagirl. And lastly, Trash said Spy Kids 3 was about keeping it real. Collectively, were those on the rocks or on the rocks?
I think collectively, different places, but collectively on the rocks, thumbs up. Especially the Sharkboy Lavagirl one, because honestly, hot take too. Sharkboy Lavagirl might be up above Spy Kids 3 for me.
Interesting.
I'm going to have to sleep with my eyes open tonight after saying that.
Hot take. I don't remember Sharkboy and Lavagirl enough. I need to see it.
Dream. That's
Is that
song.
from Sharkboy and Lavagirl?
That's a song that Taylor Lautner.
Isn't George Lopez in Sharkboy and Lavagirl?
Yeah.
Automatically wins Sharkboy and Lavagirl.
Period.
If we were comparing movies, Sharkboy and Lavagirl is moving on.
He plays...
we should do a movie, like, standoff against each other at one point.
I love that.
Yes.
George Lopez plays Mr. Electric. That's my impression of him in the movie.
Oh, he definitely does.
Have I told you I've been to the Sharkboy and Lavagirl playground where the chase scene with the diary. This makes so much sense for you, someone who's definitely seen the movie. But I've been to the playground that's in the movie.
In Sharkboy and Lavagirl?
Yeah.
Wow.
The one where Max loses the diary. Spoiler alert to you. But
I don't know who Max is.
the main character.
Is that Sharkboy?
No. That's Taylor Lautner.
Oh, this is a little confusing.
We're going to have to watch it. We're
adding it to the watch list. Let us know your thoughts about Sharkboy and Lavagirl. Maybe it will come up in a future On the Rock segment.
Leave your review of Sharkboy and Lavagirl in our reviews on Apple Podcasts. Answers.
Yes.
Bam.
Are you ready for the bonus review?
Oh, we didn't have the bonus review yet? Oh,
no.
Shoot. Let's get in it. Yeah.
This is a review of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, baby! Let's go.
They only gave it half a star, though. This is from Isaac.
What?
This is the complete inverse of Ratatouille. It doesn't even execute its cliches properly. I'm genuinely stunned at how many people find this meh, let alone good. My favorite part about the movie is its message. Having family hold you back and not fulfill your dreams is the perfect message for your protagonist to have and carry out onto his friends. Your thoughts on Isaac's half-star review of Sonic the Hedgehog? Oh, we have a negative! Negative on the rocks?
Oh, negative. We all know, any cinema connoisseur knows that Sonic the Hedgehog is a play off of the classic movie with Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Not Ratatouille. Excuse-moi.
This is saying it's the complete inverse of Ratatouille.
I don't think it has anything to do with rats.
Did you learn about, like, foil characters in grade school? Like, someone is the foil to someone else? Was that, like, a my school thing, or was that...
So, when you say foil, are we talking aluminum?
No, I'm talking about, like, the characters are, like, two ends of a spectrum. Like, Hamlet and the person who shows up at the end of Hamlet from Sweden.
Like a protagonist and antagonist?
No. It's usually two characters who are on a similar side that highlight each other's strengths and weaknesses.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
This could be like a my high school concept. But anyway, I'm saying that Ratatouille is the foil of Sonic? Question mark? Let us know.
I would say it's like Sonic and Tails that are foil characters unto each other.
But what does Tails' faults bring out about Sonic's strength?
Blind optimism versus pessimism.
Wow.
Period.
Wow.
Because we all know that Sonic is a pessimistic little boy.
You're so right, and I agree that review is on the rocks, negative.
Negative.
Do you want to end on a high note, though? I do have one more three-word review about Sonic.
Let's go.
This is from last year in June. Addie said, "Happy Pride Month?" Question mark. Your thoughts?
Agreed.
This has been On the Rocks. Well, Autumn, I think it's time for a little break.
Yes.
We will be right back.
Welcome back to the Buffs and Bluffs?
Yes, welcome back to Buffs and Bluffs. What a great voice you did right there, Autumn.
I'm full of range today.
Yes, I'm definitely leaving that in. Don't worry about it.
I'm not an actor for nothing.
You are not. Speaking of Sonic, which is kind of where we left off.
Yeah.
Did you know there's a new Sonic movie coming out?
Did I? My most anticipated movie of the year is
Wow, mine
Sonic
was
2.
Morbius personally, but without, by the way, I guess Sonic is my next most anticipated film.
It's a good month for you.
It is a great month. So What we've decided is, with Morbius, we did a whole predictions bingo. Mm-hmm. Instead, we're going to call hot takes or flop takes.
I love that.
In this segment, me and Autumn are both encouraged to make just one very bold prediction for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. If either of us are correct, we celebrate. How? That's for you to decide.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Yes.
We could do a little Twitter poll.
A little twit.
Yeah.
I like this.
Okay. Look on Twitter for a poll of how we'll celebrate if one of us gets it right.
Cool.
Would you like to go first with your bold prediction?
Surely. All right. Here's my bold prediction.
Okay, I'm ready.
We all know Knuckles is about to kick Egghead's ass in this movie.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Jim Carrey is screwed.
Okay.
There's going to, that is guaranteed because...
Isn't Knuckles bad in the movie?
Yeah, but there's got to be a redemption.
Oh, he's going to be
Knuckles.
redeemed.
Yes. That's kind of insinuated, I'd say, with the Sonic lore, but I could be wrong, I guess. So this is why I'm saying it's a bold prediction. Here's where it gets bolder. Not only is he just gonna, like, pound town.
Oh, okay.
Jim Carrey, like, kick his ass.
Wait.
Let me specify what that means. No.
I mean, Jim Carrey is an admiral. Jim Carrey can do whatever he wants.
I would say that with Jim Carrey's Eggman, that you never know.
I think we are venturing into, like, uncomfy territory, though, in terms of, like, some side of Sonic culture that I have heard exists out there. And I think Autumn just took one foot in a little too far.
I meant, like... Because he's Knuckles and he punches people.
Oh, and he likes going to Pound Town. That's
like
he can really.
I guess. I'm saying that he's not only gonna like beat him up, right? Fisticuffs.
Oh, it's gonna be more than handcuffs.
What handcuffs?
You said cuffs.
Fisticuffs.
Oh,
that
like
means
punches.
to fight, and
Okay.
like the old aristocrats.
I'm following.
Use a little fisticuffs. You know.
Oh, my lad, it's fisticuffs time.
Oh,
I'm an old chimney sweep. It's time for fisticuffs. No? Okay.
This is getting rough. I'm just trying to say that I think Knuckles is gonna have a scene where, like, in Dig Dug and stuff, where it's just like like pounding through the earth to the center of the earth. Yes. I think that Knuckles is going to send Jim Carrey's ass to the center of the earth. Bonus points if they just go all the way through the earth to the other side and then back.
Wow.
For comedic effect.
That would be pretty good.
That's my bold prediction. It's just not only a fight, but like that kind of fight, because I and maybe that's embedded in the fact I would love to see just Knuckles kick booty, take names. Deserves it.
That's pretty good.
Isn't Idris Elba or
Knuckles? No? Yeah. Idris Elba.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you not entertained like as it should be? You.
Okay, so Autumn, you made a great prediction. I know we kind of went to left field a little bit with some of...
A lot of different fields. Didn't mean it to.
People playing for different teams. However, you're wrong, because what is going to happen is... I'm very sure about this, and I'm locking this in, everybody. Listen up. So when I was a child, me and my brother had the game Sonic Heroes on the GameCube. Mm-hmm. Really fun. We never really played it that much. We would just play the first or second level a bunch of times because it was kind of difficult.
Yeah.
And we were 6 and 7. So video games were hard. And it was all about playing the first level a whole bunch of times because the first level was kind of easy and doable. And then you get to the second level, it's impossible. Anyway, in Sonic Heroes, it was all about being on a team of Sonic Heroes. So you could be, you were Tails, Sonic, and Knuckles at the same time. and you switched out between which character was like in the lead. So when you were Sonic, you got to go fast. When you were Tails, you got to fly, and like Sonic and Knuckles would like hang from Tails' leg. And then when you were Knuckles, you got to smash stuff. That was kind of all unnecessary. I was just describing the game. Because all of that could also happen, and that would be cool. What's going to happen, though, is Sonic Heroes, and if you played this game, you will know, started off with a banger of a theme song. It was like, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Heroes. Really good theme song. I am predicting a remix of that song coming in at some epic moment. Like, there's going to be a moment where Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles finally cheer up, cue in the electric guitar, Sonic Heroes. It's going to be magical, and you're going to say, wow, Kai, how did you see that coming? And I'll say, magician never tells her secrets. Locking it in.
I'm excited to see that hopefully happen.
Yes.
In all seriousness, though, with Sonic 2,
yes,
I do genuinely really hope this is an adaptation of the best Sonic game we all know, which is Sonic Boom. Have you ever heard of Sonic Boom?
No, what is Sonic Boom?
It's, actually, you know what? This is my homework assignment for everyone this week. If you're listening, for you, I will probably just make you watch something. This game is one of the most rushed games, I think, in like production history.
Oh,
and
that's
it is
fun.
rough, but it is so funny.
What year did it come out?
It came out in this century.
Okay.
So for context, it's like not newer, but like it's relatively.
It's not like an Atari game.
Yeah, exactly. It was one
it's on
that
a
was
slightly modern
it's like a
console or something.
Yeah, like PlayStations. Like,
Okay.
well, I guess PlayStations are old as hell, so never mind. That
Yeah.
doesn't really help. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Sonic Boom representation, please. Anyway, I think that's my main hope for the movie, and genuinely.
I cannot wait to watch it, and cannot wait to hear that remixed theme song. And
yeah. Also, if worst case scenario, I've been advocating they should use Billie Eilish's "Bad Guy" at some point in the Sonic movies. It just feels right. I'm the bad guy.
duh.
You did it!
Oh yeah,
You always say what?
I do always say what.
I'm so proud of you. You did it! Oh no!
I thought about it for a second.
You were like, which one's right? I don't know.
It's just when you don't have the music going, sometimes it's hard if you do like on the bad guy duh, the bad guy what. It's not as intuitive as you'd think.
I think you've also one time went, It's great.
Yeah.
Keeps me on my toes.
But that's Sonic. So
Yeah.
check back in. We'll do some Twitter poll for once I guessed it right. So be on the lookout.
Yeah. Check us out. All right. It's time to get down to some film business. Cinephile business.
Ching, ching, ching. That's the film money business.
Oh, I didn't. Well, actually.
Oh, are we talking money? Or are we talking...
We're talking A24.
We're talking wheeling and dealing.
Dealing and wheeling.
Is that what the phrase is? Okay.
No, I don't know, actually.
I don't know either.
I was saying the reverse.
Okay.
I was trying to add range.
You were trying to be a little indie. Speaking of indie...
A24. So we have had it come up in conversation.
Yes.
That, well, I guess what was your take on A24?
Oh, my take is I don't really know what A24 is. I see it sometimes like, again, you know, we're going to these like fancy cinemas. So we're sitting, you know, there's someone like, oh, would you like French fries? And I'm like, oh, sure, I got French fries. Let me put out a little card here and put the card in the thing. And these film ads, I'm used to like seeing just like the run-of-the-mill ads, but
yeah.
At these like art house cinemas, they'll produce ads for A24 movies, and I've heard of them before, and I get like film content like come across like my Instagram Explore page and stuff like that, so I know A24 cinema exists, and I know it's highly revered as being like, ooh, this one is making good moves. Like people make fun of like Sony movies and like Morbius and stuff, and DC movies, and like other companies who tend to like constantly kind of get it wrong. I am hearing that A24 is constantly getting it right. With that being said, I can't name a single A24 movie.
That's okay, because honestly, we're at a point now where a lot of other companies are trying to make their movies like A24. So the lines are getting blurred, and I think it's just because people are picking up that A24 gets the coin. they get the big bucks now. They're kind of what people are, especially after Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Gotcha. That movie, also known as All Around the World in my head. One clarification I have is if you could maybe go into just what A24 is for my benefit and for listeners. But I'm also wondering, is it a single director or is it many directors? Because what I am confused by, admittedly, is how a production company is able to take so much credit for the success of these movies while there's so many other factors in play. Like, in my head, in my movie bluff head, the production company is just funding things. Yeah. But maybe they're doing more than that to deliver good movies, like selecting what movies they want to fund and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of questions.
Yes.
And
I
some of which we can... Well, no apologies needed, because it's just something that, like, we could probably uncover over a few episodes, honestly. But I have found a good guide that might help us through. I explored both r/A24. There's a Reddit for A24, but there's specifically one of the most recommended pages on Reddit when you look up A24.
Is that Adam Sandler?
Yes, it absolutely is. Or a man with a mustache.
It
D, all
also
of the
looked
above.
like Bella Swan's father from Twilight. I'm kind of looking at your phone
Charlie.
from an angle.
Yeah.
Charlie, yeah. Charlie is really into fishing with his bro, right? Do you not know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I thought you just were asking if that was like a grown adult gay man.
No,
isn't it
yes?
Well,
I have some friends that read Twilight, and I have heard that Charlie and
he does like fishing.
Bro, they like to go on fishing weekends.
Yes, and I also think
there's only so many things you can do on a fishing boat before, to quote you earlier, look in the envelope.
Yep.
You thought I was going to say Pound Town.
Yeah, I was like...
The old switcheroo. Okay.
The old switcheroo.
Please continue.
So this is on... This specific post is on r/TrueFilm. And it's... The page is called What's Up with A24 Movies?
What's up with A24? I'm asking that question.
And this person is asking specifically like more about not just if things are produced or distributed by A24 as a company, but more of like what does it mean when you say something's A24?
Ooh, very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interested in what this says.
This person, the user is Cool Gibbon, said it's become pretty common to see people discussing A24 movies, being excited for the next one, and I'm confused. Obviously, A24 has distributed many excellent movies, but so have so many other companies. Why isn't it not like Neon or Braun or Fox Searchlight?
Or New Line Cinema.
Yeah. Sure. And how, as an example, this user brought up, like, if Searchlight there wasn't much panic when it was acquired by Disney, but if A24 was to be acquired by someone like Disney, people would, like, freak the hell out. Which, yeah, I probably would too, honestly. And the first response, which I think encapsulates a lot of this discussion very easily, is by KBO1138. It's like when a bunch of great bands are all signed to the same record label. You get excited when they sign someone new because they all have these great bands already. Someone over there must be making great decisions, right? It's a similar situation. They keep making great decisions, so it's exciting to keep an eye on them. Now, the thing is, I do think that A24 has become kind of this hipster indie go-to thing for movie fans, for film school, kids, etc. Like, I learned about A24 personally in going to film school and /art school, and it was just a name I heard a lot in my first year there. And it turned out there was a ton of A24 movies being screened at that film festival that year, and that was my first exposure to it because it was like the year of Lady Bird. So, and Call Me by Your Name.
Is Lady Bird an A24 film?
I believe so, yeah.
I like Lady Bird. I've seen one.
Yeah, check that right off.
Wow.
There you go. It has, there's a lot of...
Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah, period. She's amazing. There's the question where you asked about, like, why are so many good directors involved with the studio, is I think originally it did have a lot of involvement with good directors, maybe because of... this is me just going off the top of my head, mind you. I could do more research into this, but I think it was partially because a lot of these directors weren't names yet. Like, Moonlight was made through A24. Barry Jenkins, landed
Gotcha.
the Academy Award after that, like from that movie. So I think half of it is the studio builds up a lot of these directors that people love that have a specific style, and they build them from different directions. The Daniels, who directed Everything Everywhere All at Once, their start was in music videos, and their big music video that like changed their career was Turned Down for What? Which, I mean, that is one of the most like, I think if there's any music video, for instance, that I have talked about with other people, no matter the context,
it's that one.
It's that one, and like Gangnam Style.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, it's ones that are like funky, weird, doing something different.
And Taylor Swift's Love Story.
Love Story. Not all too well. Love Story. You're right. No, she's running in that white dress.
Yeah.
She's going.
I
You Belong with me?
Wait.
Whoa! That was weird.
That was an A24 movie, actually.
An A24 movie.
Timothy Chalamet should have been in that one.
Yeah.
Okay, please continue.
Euphoria.
Is A24?
Yeah. And so is a lot.
Wow.
There's a lot of things are made by.
Euphoria's not even a movie.
It's not even a movie. Not everything they do is movies.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a production company at its core. People really like it because it just they tend to, you know, at least originally, because I mean, being hipster culture now, the discussion is, well, are they really that good anymore if they're this big? Yeah, blah blah blah, capitalism, blah blah blah, whatever. But I would say they tend to be very experimental to some degree. They tend to be very aesthetic driven, very color driven in their editing for the most part. And
yeah, I'm thinking of like Euphoria has a very like vibe. Even Lady Bird has a vibe.
Yeah.
Like that movie has...
They have
certain
direct
looks,
color palettes.
yeah.
Like there's a look to it that could earn its own like prequel filter.
Yeah, I've never
like
seen Moonlight, but I know the poster has a vibe.
Yeah, well, and honestly, like there was a joke back when I was in film school that like they all used bylighting. Have you ever heard of bylighting?
Yes, bylighting is when the lighting is the bi-pride flag colors, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I only know that because when I was looking for On the Rocks reviews, there was one about, I'm imagining like the film, like PA explaining bylighting to Jared Leto when they were going to use it in Morbius. But, so A24 films are known for using that lighting, like pink, purples, blues, kind of.
Yeah, they have good different lighting. Which again, a lot of these things it's hard now because now a lot of movies are utilizing these things too, right? Because A24 is working.
Yeah,
Ari Aster is one of the main directors that people know. Them after there's the Safdie brothers. I was John Safdie's moves when he wrote Uncut Gems.
Oh, that person.
Things like that.
Yes,
which is why you saw Adam Sandler on that photo.
Oh, I've never seen Uncut Gems.
Honestly,
I haven't even seen where the I was John Safdie's muse when he wrote Uncut Gems.
That's Julia Fox, and that was a meme.
Well, I don't know who Julia Fox is, unfortunately.
I don't think you need to, honestly. And Uncut Gems, it's not as good as Good Time. Good Times and that. Hot take, not really, because Uncut Gems is honestly really stressful, and the Safdie brothers really like making stressful movies. I'm fine with that. I love the good like 5-way parlay, 3-way parlay, but like Robert Pattinson in Good Time. I'm like Pete Davidson on Late Night. I think that was on Jimmy Fallon where he just raved about Good Times.
I haven't seen that one. Maybe we need to add it to the list.
We should. I don't know how easy it is to watch, but it's very good. But it is a little stressful. Yeah. And then, I mean, they're all filmmakers doing a lot of new different things. They tend to pride themselves in being very representation focused. Are they effective in that? In some degrees, yes. In some degrees, no. That's something that could be easily argued in terms of in comparison to other production companies. Yeah, they're doing better than most, but... Yeah, and I think they continue to make progress.
I kind of have two questions.
Yeah.
Question number one is, what is your personal favorite A24 movie?
Ooh.
And then question number two is, are there any A24 movies upcoming that you are on the lookout for?
Well, that's, okay, the second one, it's hard because my main one I was looking out for was Everything Everywhere All at Once, which, I can't shut up about, but, like,
Which I do need to still see.
It's literally, like... any review I see anyone make of it, they're saying it's the best of
wow.
Like one of the a cinematic awesome. Masterpiece, like that good. And I have yet to see a negative review. I've seen a few people make fun of it because of how weird it is, but that's fair. It's a weird movie. It's funny though. Like and you're probably laughing along with it, and it's effective. But that's where I'm like, well, I'd have to like relook at the roster. Honestly, I did think the preview before Morbius for Men was hilarious because every time I watch that, I forget it's just called Men.
I didn't see, that was my first time ever watching that preview. So essentially, to set the scene a little bit, there is a girl or something, and she keeps seeing this like man in the distance, and then she's like, "Who are you? Go away!" And then like he disappears out of sight.
Ominous for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, on and off. It's just like scary stuff. There's always someone following her, and then she's like, "Go away!" And then it cuts to black, and the word "men" just pops up.
It felt a little bit like a joke.
It did feel like a joke.
And I just remembered that being the first laugh that I let out. That was a little too loud in the theater, and the guys next to me started to going. Like, and I was like, okay, cool. They can hang for at least to put up with my BS. I will say my favorite of all time from A24 is a very hard question. While again, Everything Everywhere is up there.
Yeah,
I would say outside of that, because again, it's also like new. Yeah. So besides that, looking at the classics, I love Midsommar, and now everybody knows everything about me.
I love Florence Pugh.
Yeah, precisely, and she is like the movie. So, but I specifically, it's a personal thing as to why I love it so much. Less of like, which I think is a bigger red flag than just saying you like it because it's good. But no, because it was it was a crutch movie back in 2020 for me. And it was very effective. I like paired that with AJJ to get through some really hard stuff. So I think that it sticks with me. Also, like, I don't know if that, I think that I also just love the idea of I love horror movies in general, and I really like that the movie pairs soft fairy tale aesthetics to something so dark and gruesome as a cult.
See, horror movies are things that sometimes scare me. I would want to watch Midsommar.
I think you'd be fine. It's not. I can tell you the gore is really straightforward, and I can tell you when to like look away. And
also, I'm willing to make sacrifices for actors that I'm really into. For example, I really like Victoria Peretti. I don't even know if that's how you say her last name, but she was in A Haunting of Bly Manor or something. Oh, yeah. She played a lesbian in it. The lesbian storyline, impeccable. Highly recommend that. Man, was that scary. But I toughed it out. You know, if there's really good screen time for an actor that I really like, I'll hang in there. And I really like Florence Pugh, and I haven't even seen her in that much stuff. Really just Little Women and Hawkeye. You will come to learn the glory that is the Florence Pugh frown when you watch Midsommar, because that is that movie, honestly. And incredible. It's lovely. I think that with both Ari Aster and Jordan Peele movies do a great thing of like, it's pretty easy to turn away if you get scared but still want to digest some horror, and it's effective horror, so it's not just like, for instance, X came out recently, a lot of blood and guts for the hell of it. I saw that and like, poster at the cinema when we went. It was good, classic nods to like old horror and stuff, especially 70s horror, but like also if you can't stand normal horror tropes like slasher films and stuff, it's not going to be your cup of tea, because it's a lot of like, it's a lot of gore and silliness like that. But these movies are less about that, more about like horror or slash thrillers for story efficiency and like effectiveness. So I think this is we're so serious right now. No, it's good. A24. Welcome to the serious side of Buffs and Bluffs, but it's not that serious. I mean, A24 is going to like be honed in, but also is like kind of its own little jokey joke at the same time. No, I'm fascinated. I have very much enjoyed learning about A24. I am wondering, would you be able to ask me what my favorite A24 Well, I was just about to. What's your favorite? Okay, is it Lady Bird? No, I was actually thinking about it. So, it's not everyone's favorite, but I do really like it a lot. Some people say it's ahead of its time. I say, now's the time. And of course, that is Spy Kids 3D at the end. Or Game Over. Spy Kids 3D, Game Over. The best A24 movie, because when I see that, I say, A24, more like 25 out of 25. Did you know Elijah Wood is in that movie?
Yeah.
He's the guy.
He is the guy.
I don't remember that much about that movie. I gotta watch it again, but that was one of the things I remember how shocked I was that Elijah Wood was the guy, because I had watched Lord of the Rings already at the time, and I was like, he's the guy.
He's the guy. Phenomenal.
Also, I guess George Clooney's in that movie playing Devlin.
Yeah, that's like.
You know who I really like in that movie? Oh, I'm sorry. You were saying that's.
Who do you like in that movie?
I like Antonio Banderas.
Oh, absolutely.
He's got an accent that.
Yeah.
Him as Puss in Boots. Not to talk about Shrek again quickly, but.
Great performance.
Antonio Banderas.
Effective.
I gotta see that movie that he's in. Mask of Zorro.
Oh.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's good.
I like him, like Catherine Zeta-Jones. Really like Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Also, it's like, I think if you like Indiana Jones, you'll like Zorro very easily.
I do love Indiana Jones, so...
There you have it. All right, is it Butter My Popcorn time?
I think it's time for Butter My Popcorn. So, Autumn, it is time for Butter My Popcorn, where both of us will have 1 minute to say what is buttering our popcorn this week.
Sounds good.
Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I'll go first, because you have the timer in front of you.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm absolutely ready.
Here we go. Autumn, this week, what's buttering your popcorn?
What's buttering my popcorn is the 1966 classic Daisies. Daisies was a movie, it's a Czech movie that got banned in the country for its feminist propaganda. Ooh. And it is really good, the imagery, and it's beautiful. It's very simple in plot. So it's just two gals that are like, if the world's gonna suck, we'll spoil ourselves. If the world's spoiled, we'll spoil ourselves, is how it's really put. But as a classic, it was really fun to watch, because I thought it was a huge inspiration onto a lot of things that I've seen since then. The butterfly scene obviously was really cool, just the aesthetics of it all, how they colored certain film for different scenes, things like that. And I'm trying to get into watching more things like that. I was going to try to say more about it, but a lot of the terms in it I can't say because it's all in Czech, so I will butcher it. But there you go.
So cool though. I will say, I walked in a couple times while you were watching this movie, and one thing that I noticed, I got to see the butterfly scene, which was really cool, and I also really liked what this movie did with color. I know you mentioned that a little bit, but like, for people like me who don't know that much about film at all, they had scenes that, everyone, was looking yellow. Mm-hmm. And everyone was in black and white in another one, and everyone was in, green and it was just so different than some things were in natural color. Because it's not that old, it's the 60s. But it was just very interesting, and I found that very cool.
Yeah, same. Absolutely same. Your turn.
Okay.
You ready?
I am ready.
Kai.
Yes?
What's buttering your popcorn this week? Ready, set, go.
Okay, what is buttering my popcorn this week is the movie 10 Things I Hate About You, starring Heath Ledger and other people who I don't remember the names of. And you know what? That movie, so I had never seen that movie before. It was National 10 Things I Hate About You Day or something like that. Autumn and my other roommates were like, oh, what a good movie. And I'm like, I've never seen that movie. And they were like, we're changing that right now. So we all stopped what we had planned. We watched 10 Things I Hate About You. I absolutely loved it. The way that it blended Shakespeare with early 2000s was brilliant. Heath Ledger with a gender and a half. And it was like, oh, okay. I like that. And most importantly, the song where he sings the scene where he sings the Frankie Valli song, brilliant. I have watched that 25 times. Mm-hmm. And not to brag, but I also, my time is up, but I do have to give a quick shout out to my Twitter, @Ky the Bluff, because the writer of 10 Things I Hate About You liked my tweet praising the movie, and I think that's pretty cool. So, Keaton Smith, the writer of 10 Things I Hate About You, thanks for liking my tweet. Your movie is really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Hey, come on the podcast. No.
Hey, you know what? She also did Legally Blonde, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. House Bunny, too. I like a lot of my favorite movies.
Yeah, so cool. But, Autumn, I think that's the podcast, unless you have anything else to add.
I think that's it.
Where can people find you, Autumn?
They can find me at Autumn Hearts on Twitter now and on Instagram. And from there, I got a link tree that'll take you anywhere. And you can find Buffs and Bluffs at Buffs and Bluffs. Pretty much anywhere.
And like I said, you can find me on Twitter at Ky the Bluff. Give me a follow. I would love to, I have like 6 followers right now.
You're doing great.
I'm really new to Twitter, and I am doing great.
You're brand spanking new, and you're already killing it.
Already killing it with the screenwriters who are verified giving me likes on what I'm saying.
Come on. Yes, Ky.
Yes, and what I want to leave us all with is to quickly refresh the main points from this envelope today.
This envelope?
Was that a Freudian slip? You know what? That's the only point to bring up. Don't get a paper cut when you're looking the envelope. Autumn, anything else to add?
No.
Well, this has been an episode of Buffs and Bluffs. Thank you all for listening, and as we end every episode, good night, drive home safe, and goodbye.